Hey guys, welcome to today's My Next Million episode. Hey, at the moment, I'm committing to pumping out a lot of these. So listen in, I've got something cool for you. And this one here is more of a teaching session. It's basically how I turned one idea into a movement, not just $1 million movement, like a movement way beyond myself. And you'll understand why when I explain it to you. So let me just start with a simple question. Have you ever grown as a person? You've improved, learned, leveled up, but somehow you feel limited by where you live or the environment you're in. Well, if that's you, that's exactly where I was. I grew up in a small town called Yenko, about 500 people, 552 people actually, maybe 51 because I no longer live there. But I come from a really small town, and I grew up in a feeling like I was limited in that certain way. So this used to really frustrate me. So today I want to share with you a lesson that really changed not just my financial life, but it helped me scale beyond my little small town of Yenko. Helped me break free from having to be in one location, like a brick and mortar business, and it allowed me to build a life essentially around one single idea. And the best part, it's actually very simple. So listen up. And here's where it all starts. I realized really early on as I become a young adult, young man, that the people close to you are often the ones that last see your growth. And if you ever heard that story about the crabs in the bucket, is they can never escape because everyone's just pulling them down. There's this old quote that I heard, and it's never more true, is you are never a prophet in your own town. And what that means is no matter how much you grow or no matter how good you get, everyone in your own town just sees you as the old version of you. Right? And when everyone around you expects you to stay the same because everyone wants certainty, so they want to see you in the same certain light that they thought of you yesterday, it becomes very hard to step into who you're becoming. And that's why, there's different, like in different cultures, there's different classes, right? So what this really led me to understand is that most of us are living in a trap, and we just typically fall into a trap because most people, we don't base our identity off who we truly are, right? Which is really sad because a lot of good people do deserve great things. But we base our identity off who we think other people think we are, right? Now, that's a fucking projection. It's not even real. And it's not the truth at all. But it controls so many people. There's that old saying, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. And that's fucking hard to break out of, right? Especially if you don't understand that. It's hard to get your head around it. So simply though, if you constantly remind of who you were yesterday, becomes very hard to grow into the new you, the new version, or the true you in that sense. So this is why this next part is really important. Is one of the simplest ways to break out of that old identity is to actually change your environment. Now, that's why travel is so powerful. Not because you go away to find yourself, but because you finally get to choose how you show up. You get to decide who you are. That's the whole powerful thing of it. People just think it's about finding yourself. It's actually being able to decide and choose who you are without the old labels and without expectations of others. So when your environment changes, your identity really shifts or can actually realign, I like to say. So when your identity shifts though, what comes with that is an opportunity change, which leads straight into business. So for me, I'm going to show you how it all connects to making more money. Now, I realized really early on that if I had a product that worked, something that people valued, and something profitable, then the fastest way to multiply the outcome wasn't by just changing the product. It was actually by introducing the same product in a new environment. Now, I did a lot of traveling. I was lucky enough to do a lot of traveling when I was younger and saw the impact of this, where you get different ideas from different markets and you come back and implement it. And that's why my little Jim Leeton was absolutely rocking it in regards to cutting edge at the time. We're always ahead of the game because I'd always implement strategies from other markets and join them all together. It was like a melting pot. And what I really learned was for the same work, the same effort, a completely different upside can happen, can be made possible. So I really apply this my whole life in all areas. Now, for me, the main product that really allowed this to grow and scale go from a local level to a global level was my 30-day challenge. Now, I had the very first 30-day challenge in Australia. I actually had that business name. Nobody had 30-day challenge. Everyone would implement the name 30-day challenge, but I owned the absolute name 30-day challenge. All right, now if I could go back, I would have trademarked it a bit better. because it went berserk all around the world. It went all around the Australian gyms, yeah, 45s and all that kind of stuff. They all based their models off something I created. So this worked phenomenally for me. It got people results. Gyms made more money. It was simple. It was repeatable. I loved it. I was super passionate about it. I wanted to help good people win. So instead of just reinventing the program, what I learned was I could expand it into new towns and new gyms. It would be new for the first time, right? And anything that's new for the first time, once you break the market, it explodes and you get that sharp growth. And so what happened next is I expanded. Oh, what happened actually next? First, it blew up my own gym revenue by 4 times in 12 months, completely changed my life financially in that regards, and my members' lives, and the results that everyone got was phenomenal. It was like one of the most exciting times of my life. And not only did it explode my gym by 4 times in 12 months, my revenue, now by new, my cost stayed the same. So talking about profit, it was a lot, it was a huge improvement. But it also earned massive amounts of money and impact, meaning and results for the other gyms that I ran it with. So what's really interesting is you can have one idea, can change environments and create massive leverage. Now, over time, I created close to $1 million in ticket sales with the 30-day challenge and over $2.5 million in additional gym revenue while I was running these. Now, that's not, ongoing with the gyms and so forth. That's like direct impact from running the challenges with sign up and referrals. So this really helped me see and understand something a lot deeper. And what I call it is the DJ effect. Now, if you think of a DJ who plays at the same pub every Friday night, people tend to get used to them, even though, they keep the vibe high, even on the low nights. But the sad thing really is that a DJ who come from out of town might not even be as good or hasn't put the grind in, but all of a sudden it feels special. And I used to notice that and be like, that's really unfair, but it's not about what's being unfair, it's what's the actual fact. And you can have the same skill, but apply it to a different environment that nobody knows you. It's actually a high perceived value because those that create and go beyond different environments are perceived with a high value. That's just how it is. Now, the reason why I'm teaching this is because sometimes you don't need a product, you just need a new room. And what that really means is your value isn't just what you do, it's also massively influenced by where you choose to show up. So the right audience, the right environment, right timing, same you, much bigger impact. So let's make this practical for you, how to actually apply this. So here's how to use it in real life. What you do is you take a skill, a product, or a service, something that you're great at, all right, which I really encourage you, get great at something, and introduce it to a new environment or market. Now for me, I would first introduce it to a new person, and that would be my connection to the market, but I'll talk about that in another video. So basically you take something you're really good at, and you just find someone who was in your position, right, previously, and you show them how to do what you did, right? And you be generous about it. So you literally can create the same offer, but apply it to a different audience, and it's a massively multiplied return for you and them. So let me give you 2 examples. The first one is a super simple one in regards to the 30-day challenge is, just say, for example, I live in Sydney, which I do live now, but I didn't at the time when I first started doing this, is I would find or connect with a gym owner in Melbourne. They already have the audience, but I have the system. So we run the 30-day challenge together. I deliver the program. I get the hype, the referrals, the retention. I deliver the program. I do all the marketing and I show them how to do it. I hold their hand through it. They get the hype, the referrals, the retention, the culture, the new members. I get paid from the challenge participants up front, right? So it doesn't even cost the gym anything to do because I'm actually the one bringing all the work and putting my money where my mouth is. But they get all the back end, which is actually bigger than the front end, So this way, everyone wins, nobody gets diluted, and the impact grows. And here's how it works online as well. And I want to give you this idea just to plant seeds for basically how you can do business, not just a one-to-one kind of way. You can go one-to-many by taking something you're really good at and showing someone else or showing multiple people how to do it for themselves. So it's literally like teaching a man how to fish. So another thing that I did when I was younger is I was really good at Facebook organic marketing, right? There was lots of things that I pioneered in the Facebook marketplace. And what I would then do is turn that into an offer for someone else. So essentially, in regards to organic marketing, I would create that into an offer. So it's basically how to get clients through Facebook with no ad spend, right? In minimum time in a day, whatever it is. Okay, it doesn't really matter about the offer if you have the ability to connect or reach out to people and connect with them, and you got a good product. Okay, if it works, it works. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the wild thing about it. If you can back what you do, it's phenomenal. So essentially, I would help other businesses implement it, learn it, or have it done for them. So I call it like DIY. So done for you, done with you, or just done and you get to explain how to do it. Don't even know what the little analogy for that is. But anyway, same skill, new market, better leverage. And here's where the mindset that really makes it work. This only works. The mindset that really makes this work is when you're willing to back yourself, you cannot fucking lose from this strategy. So many of the times when I was younger, I was actually willing to cover the cost up front because I trusted my system. I knew what I had and I knew what I could do with what I had. And then generally, if it didn't work, I didn't want anyone's money for it. I only wanted something that worked. And that literally opened up doors all around the world for me. So it took me to Australia, New Zealand, Germany, America, even South Africa did my program, and people around the world. It was crazy. All right. So what I want to really iterate here is that, when you remove the risk from others and you know that you have something great and you get out there and just rip in and do it, that's where opportunity really starts to flow. All right. So if you got anything out of today's video, I want you to sort of have this takeaway that sometimes your next level isn't about changing what you do. It's about changing where you do it. Okay, so if this helps, hit subscribe, reach out. If you've got a product or service or you want to brainstorm how to expand it, send me a DM. I'd love to chat with you. I love helping good people win. And I love helping people find new markets for their products and services. Because ultimately, like, I'm addicted to helping. I love it. And I love finding opportunity, right? Creating opportunity, seeing opportunity. And so if you're watching this right now, drop me a little message of what you got out of it, or even as a little bit of a challenge, this is where I put my money where my mouth is, message me what you do, and I will actually just send a little text and show you how to create that into an offering, into a product, or into a service, just for fun. I love doing it. Over and out.